Herzlich willkommen, welcome to this performance on untranslatability.
Der Krieg ist the war. The war is війна. Is війна der Krieg? I can tell. I don't know. I know nothing. Sometimes I feel I cannot speak to be heard, or better say, understood. Kan man mich verstehen? Чи можуть вони мене зрозуміти? Я не знаю. Я часто мовчу. I choose to keep silent. Ich schweige. How to explain that certain things will have different meanings from now on? From now on and forever. Is війна der Krieg? I don't know. '24 is always for February now. 24 ist für Februar und Donnerstag. 4 четвер. Десь о 4 ранку все почалося. '24 is for February. Before the Krieg, війна, the war was always for us Ukrainians about World War II. Something about the past. The war, the one our grannies lived through. I say grannies because not many grandpas came back. We said post-war, pre-war, and it was always about that war, about the past. Війна bedeutete den Zweiten Weltkrieg. It was always something old, far away from us and our lives, and maybe it is how Krieg is felt now. Тепер довоєнний – це про наше молоде життя. Це про так недавно, але ніби життя тому. Now the pre-war is about our youth. It means recent and still as if a life ago. Vor Krieg ist vor kurzem. Es ist über uns. did you know that when you write the war is in Google Documents, it is automatically changed for was? Like it was with us when the war meant something in the past. But it is not like this anymore. It is now. Der Krieg ist jetzt. And now when I hear peace, it always means defeat. It means giving off our lands and some bullshit, you know. I walk in Berlin and see inscriptions on the walls like, no war, make love, not war, peace, blah, blah. How can I explain that for me it is now about something impossible? Something that speaks, we don't want your war. We want to live in the world where there is no war or Krieg. Hey, but come on, there is the war in the middle of Europe in the 21st century. My friends are dying on the front line. I see peace and I want to shout or vomit. But I keep silent. Ich schweige. Ja mовчу. Peace, мир, Frieden. Frieden sounds a bit like freedom, but Frieden for Ukrainians means to lay down arms, and freedom means to fight and die for your country, for your state and people. Frieden cannot come without arms for Ukraine, to then become freedom. And then once I come to the festival in Switzerland, and spoken word poetry says something like, state is bad, it ruins personality, no borders, no states, blah, blah. What I feel is that state is something very personal for me. We fight for our state every fucking day. We do all we can for our state, even if we are not with the arms in our hands. We are proud and happy to pay taxes, you know. We respect our authorities, well, like, not always, but still. We are proud to help our state as long as we can, as long as we are alive. And so this poetry sounds so empty and naive and childish for me. It's like it worked for me in the pre-war times, but not now. Es geht hier nichts. Ми такі незручні зі своїми думками. We are so uncomfortable, unbequem. I cannot tell someone from abroad that this is all wrong, because for them it is rather me who is wrong. a crazy Ukrainian blaming our good, peaceful values. How can I translate this? Wie kann ich das übersetzen? Keine Antwort. Ich schweige. Я просто мовчу. Once in Poland, my colleague said, "Oh, there are so many opportunities for Ukrainians, and they don't apply. But we have Belarusians who need it more." How can I explain that it's not the same? That it is very complicated with Belarus. It is not Russia, of course, but it takes part in this war. I cannot translate it. Ich schweige. It hurts to schweigen. Aber ich cannot. Я не можу нічого сказати. Тільки кісткою в горлі це мовчання, яке я не вмію перекласти. Я перекладачка, яка не вміє перекласти. I'm a translator, unable to translate this. I'm a philologist, hating the language. It's one language I cannot hear now without hatred. I don't want these feelings to be inside me. I really don't. But I hate hearing Russian. Я ненавиджу російську. Я ненавиджу цю мову. Ich hasse russische Sprache. Ich kann es nicht hören. Aber ich schweige. The funniest thing is that it was my first language. The one I talked to my parents and friends for almost 25 years. And now I don't. I canceled it. Я більше не говорю російською ніколи. The hardest was to start talking Ukrainian with my parents. It was uncomfortable at first, but now it's okay. This is my choice, and I'm glad with it. I mean, Russians kill my people. Russians rape women in the occupied territories. Russians made our life terrible. How can I speak their language? I have mine. It's Ukrainian. And I'm glad with that. Ich spreche ukrainisch. Я говорю українською. Я мовчу українською. Ich schweige ukrainisch. How to translate my hatred I feel when hearing Russian, and don't be misunderstood. Don't be, this bad, radical person, uncomfortable to European values and tolerance. How to explain that European values don't work anymore? Ich kann übersetzen es nicht. Ich bin a bad translator. Я погана перекладачка. March 4, ninth day of war. How is it today? Schreibt mir mein französischer Freund. Und ich weiß nicht, verstehe nicht mehr, wie es mir geht. How is it today? Bomben fallen auf Kharkiv, Kiew, Cherson, zerstören Wohnhäuser, Schulen und Kliniken, 2000 Tote. Ich hacke einen generischen Bericht runter, damit Sie dort in Frankreich alles richtig verstehen. Und erst bei der dritten Nachricht merke ich, dass ich nicht antworte auf how I actually am today. Мій французький друже, I don't know. Ніяк я, ніякий врешті день, бо знаєш, вони вже всі на одно today. Я окей, у відносній безпеці. Лиш бігаю в укриття, шарахаюсь від фантомних сирен, маю наплічник напоготові. Сьогодні вже тиждень, як ранки починаються з новин і переклички по всіх містах з питаннями «Як ти?». Today я вже майже звикла до цього пекла, навіть маю свою рутину. І ця звиклість мене лякає. How is it today? I don't know. But these people are incredible, and I do believe we shall win. How is it today? Today ist der Krieg. Перемога. Victory. The word Ukrainians repeat hundreds times a day, now in different contexts. Victory, sig. We do everything for перемога. We work for перемога, fight for перемога, and even drink to перемога. No jokes. Перемога is a part of our lives, same as death. It's hard even to pronounce it in Russian, you know. Победа. Победа is something about Soviet soldiers going nach Berlin, I don't know. And перемога can never be the same. It is untranslatable. Several days ago, I was driving from Kiev and saw a village called Перемога. I bet it was Soviet propaganda before, but now it's not decommunized and changed, but gained completely new meaning. I hope its residents feel this. Перемога is even not victory. Перемога is Перемога. Leider kann ich es nicht ins Deutsche übersetzen. Я не можу перекласти це німецькою. I'm a bad translator. Der Krieg ist not the war. The war is not війна. Війна – це війна. Війна ist війна.
Thank you, Tania. Tania will be with us in a moment to answer some questions from the audience, because I think what we heard now, the untranslatable, we can still speak about it, and there are some translators. Thank you, Tania. Here she is. Applause again. So Tania Rodionova, she was with us last year already at the Translationale, which was already, marked by this terrible war, and unfortunately it's still with us. And again, we are talking about the difficulties of translating this in those times. Maybe, Tania, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about the origins of this performance, of these thoughts?
Yeah, maybe we can just sit here and talk.
You're welcome to just raise your hand anytime, and I'll bring you the microphone. This is very much a conversation.
It's really hard to talk, because it's very personal and it's very emotional, and it was very important for me to say this here. Abroad, because I traveled a lot. I still live in Ukraine. I guess that's what needed to be said. But I traveled a lot during the past, almost 2 years of the full-scale war, and it was always like this. Many good things happens, but usually you feel like you have this trauma, and you perceive everything through your trauma, and some words are not like they used to be before, because there is nothing bad, of course, about peace, but now it means a lot in different contexts, and it's very interesting to notice such things in you, in myself. And there are many things I would like to feel. With my reaction to different words or language, but it's what I am now, and I wanted you to maybe a bit understand more what Ukrainians can feel now, and I don't know what to do with all this stuff. With this really untranslatability. But maybe we will figure out something. I heard that the word перемога is now coming to some translations, because it's really something another than just victory, about we are victorious and let's win other countries, something like this. It's not the same. But we need to have this, you know, explanations to everything, and these footnotes, like every time you say like something harsh, you need to give the footnote that, guys, sorry, this is my perception through trauma, blah, blah. Because you can be perceived like in a different way. Yes, so if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer.
Is there a question already? Yes? Yeah, great.
Hello, everybody. My question would be, how do you, like the war is on, it's a, like, darf ich auf Deutsch?
Well, I can translate.
Okay. Krieg dauert so lange und also man fühlt sich natürlich machtlos und man kann das irgendwie also alleine kann man das nicht ändern. Und was hast du an dir gemerkt, was hilft dir irgendwie von deinem Alltag, also was hilft dir irgendwie ein bisschen also abzulenken, damit man durch den Tag kommt, also weil ich glaube, das ist auch nicht so einfach.
So she was saying war is lasting a long time and you feel very powerless. And what do you do to get through the day, to, you know, somehow get away from this feeling of powerlessness?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, at first it was really like everything you did before. I mean, some cultural management, poetry, translation, blah, blah. It was like, you know, just unnecessary. But then, like, we figure out that the best way we can do is to work in our industries, to keep working, and of course to adjust our projects to help, I don't know, to help Ukrainian translators in our case, yeah, to support the community, the community of poets also, and to help them speak abroad. And like, for example, last year we had this poetry readings about war here, and it was great. And it feels like, okay, I'm doing something, like I'm not fighting with the arms, of course, but still it's something I can do. And maybe there are less people that have these skills and this community, and some community abroad, maybe some partners. So if I have this, I need to do my job, and this is really what helps a lot. And we just had our translation festival in Ukraine 2 weeks ago, and during the war and air raids alarm, but we did it, and it was a great feeling that still cultural events can be something to support people, and if we can do this, then we should do this.
If there's, oh, okay, is it okay? Okay, we will have another question first, and
then. Thank you, Tanya. That was very moving, and I have a question. I think you showed very, in a touching way that just to, like use the dictionary to say like Krieg is war, so it doesn't. That's just not enough. And my question would be. So there could be like just a binary opposition. Something is translatable, like, you can use, if you know the grammar dictionary and so forth, and then there's the untranslatable. Or, and that would be my question, is there kind of a spectrum, and so that the untranslatable becomes kind of gradually more translatable? And if so, how would it be? Like, you know, that we discussed yesterday about sometimes translators need to do a footnote or something to give more context. Obviously, just a footnote with a sentence wouldn't help here, but I mean, is it maybe that you as a person also perform, that you are on stage, that there's not just words, but the whole way of saying something with the voice, with the body, with the emotions, that this kind of untranslatable becomes more translatable? Or is it, would you say, no, there's really a gap of experiences and it remains really untranslatable?
It's hard to answer. I guess we really need, these footnotes. But it's more about, you know, personal associations. I mean, really, I remember myself, like we said, this pre-war, and it was pre-war, that war, the World War II, and it was like obvious, like no other explanations were needed. Though there were other wars after, I mean, even Afghanistan war, for example, many Ukrainians were involved, like through this Soviet propaganda and everything. But still, we had this like big war in our minds, and I don't know if it can be changed somehow in minds of different readers, but maybe this introducing Ukrainian words, maybe through transcription or something, like it will be like, you know, writing vina in Latin letters. Maybe it will be like some kind of way to explain that this is about this. I don't know. Because I heard this story, I can't remember. I guess it's about the translation of the War of Dictionary by Ostap Slivinsky, that Peremoha is really like Peremoha written in Latin letters. And maybe it can be one of solutions.
There's a question here. Anybody else? Please raise your hand.
It's a little comment. May I?
Yeah.
Well, I understand like the importance of the words and languages. So, vina, it's exactly how we see it, and war, how English-speaking people see it. Krieg, und so weiter und so fort. But it's also about like it's about the feelings also behind this. And what do you feel as a Ukrainian being, as a Ukrainian at war? Like you like grew up in independent country, and now it's like since 2014 it's like not independent anymore. What are your feelings after?
It still is, sorry.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I understand what you mean, but what, which feelings do you have, like?
Gosh. I mean, it's hard, of course, and yesterday or day before yesterday, I don't remember, we talked with my colleague Julia that it's strange that now when we have some questions about future, we cannot answer them because like we don't know what there will be in a month or in a year or something. And it seemed that we are so used to living inside the war that it's like no expectations that it will really end. I mean, I cannot imagine this. I'm like in this state, and that's it. And of course, we do everything that we can, but it's like maybe it's some kind of fear, you know, to imagine that everything will be okay. I don't, even if everything will be over, we have this, you know, trauma, we have many people gone, we have many people psychologically traumatized, yeah, we have many people fled and never come back, obviously. We will have many people coming back from the war and cannot adapt, and we will have many questions to answer even inside the country, and to speak, and will become like more uncomfortable. Yeah, that's what I was saying for foreigners, I guess, because we will have this more and more hard experience, and it will last like long. So I don't have like the feeling that my, so to say, normal life that was before 2020, I guess, because in 2020 something just, you know, got broken. And I don't feel like it's ever come back. And my first feeling when I came abroad from Ukraine during the war were like, oh, these people, they are still living in, you know, previous series of life. Like, because we also like have coffee, we also have festivals, we also have weddings and everything, but still it's like something changed completely. And that is the feeling that it will never be okay anymore. Sorry, I don't know if I answered, actually.
So we have one more question here.
Дякую, Tania. It's not really a question, more a comment, and I would like to ask you for the translation, because it's better for me to express myself in German now. Also vielen Dank, dass du uns das so eindrucksvoll gezeigt hast, was das heißt, unübersetzbar zu sein. Also diesen riesen Abgrund zwischen den Erfahrungen und wie sie irgendwie diese Erfahrungen, die neu benannt werden müssen. Ach so.
So thank you very much for this very impressive demonstration of the untranslatable and this abyss that is between these experiences that have to be named in some way.
Und ich denke, sie müssen auch nicht übersetzt werden. Ich denke, dass dieses Unübersetzbare ist auch etwas, worüber wir auch stolpern sollten und uns dann Gedanken machen sollten über über das, was nicht austauschbar ist, was nicht ersetzbar ist durch ein anderes Wort.
And they do not have to be translated, in fact, these die Abgründe oder die, well, that it is not translatable does not have to be translated, but it's something that we should trip over and be reminded that they exist.
Genau, dass wir uns bewusst werden über diese Stille, dieses Schweigen und dass das auch so dass das ein berechtigtes Dasein hat und auch eigene Würde und dass wir dann einfach in diesem Raum der Stille auch trauern können und Mitgefühl haben können.
So we should be aware of the silence and these silent spaces and the dignity that they have, and there are also spaces in which we can feel sadness and empathy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, is there a last question? If not, then I would like to thank Tania again very much for this very personal and very moving performance here, and thank you very much for for listening, for feeling, and for asking your questions. We will have a very short transitional break. If you do not speak Ukrainian or German, there are headphones outside for you to get them for the next event, which will be on the stage, and we will have dialogues on war between 2 Ukrainian and 2 German translators. So the theme will continue. So please just go outside for like 5 minutes, get yourself a cup of coffee and some headphones, and then we'll be back here in a moment. Thank you very much.